Despite the massive success that you've had, you still get mistaken for another celebrity.
For Daniel Radcliffe.
You get mistaken for him.
It still happens.
Welcome to MsMojo. And today, we're counting down our picks for the top 20 celebs who could pass off as twins.
I know that you guys kind of look alike. I did not know that you dress similar. You dress alike as well.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most famous doppelganger pairings that often force us to do a double take. Which lookalike celebs have you thinking you're seeing double? Let us know in the comments. Number 20. Susan Sarandon and Sigourney Weaver. Did you know that Sigourney Weaver's real name is Susan? They must be twins. No, we're just kidding about that last part, but you have to admit their physical similarities are quite astonishing.
Ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you, baby.
In fact, Sarandon has confessed that she often gets confused for the alien star. She even called Weaver, quote, her alter ego, and joked that there's a reason you never see them in the same setting. In 2016, Sarandon took to the stage at the Glamour Women of the Year Awards shortly after Weaver left the stage. Even then, she jokingly reassured the crowd that they weren't seeing double.
Sigourney has left, but seriously, we are not the same person. She has very generously signed my name a number of times, and I have taken credit for Alien.
Although, we're still not entirely convinced. Number 19. Chase Crawford and Ian Somerhalder.
Now Blair's gonna freak out. I mean, this is a total lie.
One's known from Gossip Girl, while the other's best recognized from The Vampire Diaries. But how can we really be sure that we're not seeing the same person twice? Think about it. All you need to do is get them to the same hairstylist, and then it's practically like looking in a mirror. Well, at least for them. Their deep arching eyebrows, piercing eyes, and full lips are enough to get anyone confused. You'd even need to look closely at their jawlines to notice any discernible differences. Something tells us that if you tried to morph their faces together, you wouldn't spot any changes. Could Damon have been Nate in a former life?
Let me show you.
Number 18. Brittany Murphy and Lily Reinhart. If you're prone to falling down the online rabbit hole, you might have stumbled across the conspiracy theory suggesting that the Riverdale actress is actually Brittany Murphy reincarnated.
They're playing our song, the one that Ellen and I danced to. Rolling with the homie.
Now, since Murphy tragically passed away in 2009 while Reinhart was born in 1996, this is impossible. However, just one look at the actresses side by side and all logic flies out the window. Their resemblance is so uncanny that we totally buy it. And Reinhardt's Met Gala debut in 2018 further fueled the comparisons. Fans couldn't stop talking about it, and we don't blame them.
And I think it feels unreal for my family as well, just because I'm their kid, for my parents. I'm just their daughter, trying to be an actor, and here I am.
All we're saying is if any of Murphy's movies get remade or someone creates a biopic about her life, they know who to call. Number 17. Jeff Bridges and Kurt Russell. It's time for a pop quiz. Who stars in The Big Lebowski? If you said Jeff Bridges, congratulations, that's correct.
Let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
If you said Kurt Russell, don't worry, you're not alone. We're sure Russell's a total dude, but he's not the dude. For years, audiences have been getting these two mixed up, and it's only getting harder to tell them apart with age. Theirs, not ours. Their silvering facial hair doesn't exactly make it any easier. If it helps at all, you've likely watched Bridges in movies like True Grit, Iron Man, and Tron. Meanwhile, Russell's credits include Silkwood, The Hateful Eight, and The Christmas Chronicles. Even Russell's son Wyatt is aware that he kinda looks like Bridges.
I was born with eyes that went like that, and I look like Jeff Bridges more than I've joked about looking like my dad.
Number 16. Harry Connick Jr. and the Property Brothers, aka Drew and Jonathan Scott. You know Drew and Jonathan as those twins who help people find and build their dream homes.
I'm glad you love it.
Thank you.
Congrats again.
For everything.
Thanks, you guys. Congrats, Olivia. See you guys. See you.
But what if there was another long-lost brother who made it in showbiz as an actor, singer, and TV host instead? Yeah, we're talking about Harry Connick Jr. If you told us they were triplets and Harry was separated at birth, we'd believe it. Even the Property Brothers had to note their bizarre resemblance when they stopped Biconic Jr.'s show in 2016.
So, I'm not sure if you guys know, I don't talk about them a lot, but I actually have two brothers, and they're here, and I don't want to get too emotional about it. Guys?
Looking at the photo the trio took together, you could be fooled into believing it's the same individual photoshopped in 3 times over. Number 15. Thandiwe Newton and Zoe Saldana. If Zoe Saldana's mother can't tell them apart, what hope do we have? Speaking to James Corden on The Late Late Show, the Guardians of the Galaxy actress shared that her mom still believes she's in Westworld, which, in case you didn't know, stars Thandiwe Newton.
Mom, you did not give birth to Tandy Newton. And then again, she was like, well, your show is on HBO. I'm like, which one? She goes, Westworld.
She also shared that Newton had no idea who she was when they first met, but that they've since struck up a twinning friendship.
And I kind of scared her because I didn't tell her why I was like, invading her space. I was just like, oh my God. Please tell me that people confuse you with me. And she's like, who are you?
Meanwhile, the beloved actress told Graham Norton about a mortifying encounter where Victoria Beckham mistook her for Saldana at a Soul Cycle.
Vic, do you think that I'm Zoe Saldana? And she was absolutely mortified.
Newton's from London, while Saldana's from New Jersey, so at the very least, you can use their accents to tell them apart. Number 14. Young Mick Jagger and Harry Styles. For this one, we're going to take a little trip back to the 60s and 70s.
You can't always get what you want.
Wait, Harry Styles, is that you? Well, considering he was born in 1994, probably not. But you can see why someone might think otherwise. Musical talents and flair for vibrant fashion aside, these two also share an incredible likeness. Although Jagger's only half convinced, saying, quote, he just has a superficial resemblance to my younger self, which is fine. He can't help that. Meanwhile, Styles is said to greatly admire the rocker, and even played him in an SNL sketch.
Yeah, Steve, lovely show. It's a bit of fun in it.
It was enough to convince us that he has the moves and looks like Jagger. Number 13. Daniel Radcliffe and Elijah Wood. One ring to rule the Philosopher's Stone? Wait, that's not right. But with 2 fantasy franchises almost simultaneously taking over the box office, audiences often got Harry Potter and Frodo Baggins confused with one another.
Daniel, do you still get mistaken for Elijah Wood?
Not as often, but still quite a lot.
Because you don't look alike anymore, I don't think.
I don't know.
I take it back. You looked exactly like that.
Someone even made a gif of the 2 faces morphing together, and it honestly just looks like the same person with marginally different facial expressions.
This thing is everywhere, but just take a look at this. It's eerie. The transformation is so subtle that it's creepy almost. It looks like...
That is so bizarre.
Like, seriously, which one's Radcliffe and which one's Wood? We have no idea. Radcliffe also shared a hilarious anecdote about how he once signed a photo of Wood while meeting fans in Japan. Here's hoping they play family members in some future film. Number 12. Henry Cavill and Matt Bomer. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Matt Bomer? Well, no, but it very well could be. Sure, there's no shortage of handsome and stylish dark-haired men with blue eyes you can melt in Hollywood, but the resemblance between this specific duo is extraordinary. Bomer might be a few years older, but they could easily pass as brothers.
Bang, bang, boom!
We're more astonished by their likeness than we are by the fact that nobody realizes Clark Kent is Superman when he removes his glasses. We literally have to take a closer look to see who we're actually watching in films like Flight Plan, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and Magic Mike. We're just grateful to have these swoon-worthy doppelgangers on our screens.
What's your cover?
Jack Devon, Antiquities Team, specializing in Greek and Roman sculpture.
Number 11. Will Ferrell and Chad Smith. A comedian and a rock star might seem as different as night and day. However, looking at these two, it's more like night and later that same night. In fact, the SNL alum and Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer have developed quite the bond based on their physical similarities. They notably graced The Tonight Show set in real twinning fashion and competed in an epic drum-off.
Take notes, Chadwick.
Clearly, the duo aren't afraid to lean into the hilarity of it all. So it seems like they're both pretty okay with the comparisons. Hey, if the Step Brothers stars got another sibling-themed movie in them, Chad Smith needs to co-star.
I know you touched my drum set, and I want to hear that dirty little mouth admit it.
You get out of my face, or I'm gonna roundhouse your ass.
Number 10. Minka Kelly and Leighton Meester.
Need any extra pens? I don't want any bows flying on the... I'm here. Hello. Hi.
A little late, aren't you?
Yeah, sorry.
Name?
Lila Garrity.
One played a spoiled cheerleader on Friday Night Lights, while the other played an iconic mean girl on Gossip Girl.
Hello? Do you need a refresher? I say, you do.
But can you tell who's who? These real-life friends often get confused for each other, and you only have to look at their pictures side by side to see why. Their long brown locks, chocolatey eyes, charming smiles, and general beauty are practically interchangeable. So their casting in the psychological thriller The Roommate, where they play college roomies who look very similar to one another, was clearly spot on. Needless to say, remembering who was playing Sarah and who was playing Rebecca required a little extra focus. Number 9. Margot Robbie and Jamie Presley. No, you're not seeing double, but there's no denying these actresses look like carbon copies of each other, even with their 13-year age gap.
You want to be my friend?
We're not gonna be friends.
Could Presley be Robbie's long-lost older sister, cousin, or even very young aunt?
You know, the life of a carnival worker keeps me free and untethered.
I know. That's why I was immediately attracted to you. I could tell you were an outlaw.
Sure, they grew up thousands of miles apart, but we'd like to believe our theory still stands. Just look at their golden locks and dazzling blue eyes. They look so alike that we wouldn't be surprised if they shared ancestors. Quick, someone get them on Who Do You Think You Are? We challenge you to line up their photos and correctly identify each actress. It's not as easy as it sounds. Number 8. Tom Hardy and Logan Marshall Green. Marshall Green already has a fraternal twin brother, but he also seems to have a doppelganger. Famous for his work in The O.C., Prometheus, and more, the American actor has often been compared to Hardy, aka his British clone.
If you can't fix what's broken, you'll go insane.
Indeed, if you didn't hear either of them speak, you might have trouble telling them apart. After all, they're both good-looking men who almost seem to have coordinated their hairstyles and beards.
These are ancient civilizations. They were separated by centuries. They shared no contact with one another.
Even clean-shaven, it would be tough to tell them apart. Fortunately, Marshall Green's reportedly not fazed by the common misidentification, and confessed that thanks to being a twin, he's no stranger to being mistaken for somebody else. Number 7. Javier Bardem and Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
The celebrity I most get mistaken with, Javier Bardem.
These two are always mesmerizing us on screen, bringing their characters to life in incredibly intriguing ways. And they have us wondering if shared genetics might be to thank for their talents. With their stylish hair, hypnotic broody eyes, strong jawlines, and overall rugged appearances, they look eerily alike.
It's been traveling 22 years to get here, and now it's here. And it's either heads or tails. And you have to say, call it.
So we seriously wouldn't be surprised if there was some Parent Trap level estrangement at play here. We don't think either of these men could possibly mind being mistaken for the other too much. Who could be offended by such a flattering comparison? They're probably both descendants of some perfect-looking specimen. If you're debating which of these Hollywood heartthrobs is more to your taste, let's be honest, it's a draw.
You're Rick, right? I'm Negan. And I do not appreciate you killing my men.
Number 6. Nina Dobrev and Victoria Justice. If you need proof that doppelgangers exist, look no further. Is it Dobrev? Is it Justice? We just can't tell. Imagine tuning into the Vampire Diaries and thinking, hey, Lola Martinez from Zoe 101 got a new gig. only to realize you're very, very wrong.
I never thought I'd be saying this, but I can't stop thinking about blood.
It's definitely easy to see why many people believe they must be family. And no, there's zero proof to suggest they are, but it's wild how plausible it seems, right? After all, you can barely tell that Dobrev is 4 whole years older than Justice. The latter star even referenced the fact that they were lookalikes while presenting the former with her Teen Choice Award in 2015.
And your choice TV actress sci-fi fantasy is... All right. My doppelganger, Nina Dobrev!
Number 5. Natalie Portman and Keira Knightley.
Do you ever get mistaken for other actors?
All the time.
Really?
Yeah.
And who do people mistake you for?
Well, I've been chased through an airport as Natalie Portman. I mean, Natalie Portman a lot.
Is there any more convincing argument that 2 people look alike than one being hired to play the other's decoy? Indeed, that's exactly when many Star Wars fans discovered that these 2 actresses were practically carbon copies of each other.
I'm Queen Amidala of the Naboo. I come before you in peace.
They already look identical in casual wear, so seeing them both in the full Queen Padme getup added an even freakier level to this story. Although Portman's ancestry can be traced to countries like Austria and Poland, she arguably has a classic English rose look, and Knightley's practically the poster child for English roses. If Elizabeth Swann ever needs someone to take her place while she flies under the radar, we'd like to throw Portman's name into the mix.
The entire Royal Navy is out looking for me. Do you really think that there is even the slightest chance that they won't see it?
But why is the rum gone?
Number 4. Zooey Deschanel and Katy Perry.
No. Sorry. Misunderstanding. I'm Zoe.
With their similarly shaped faces, dark hair, and big blue eyes, it's hardly surprising that these 2 often get mistaken for one another.
Change your mind like a girl changes clothes.
Perry, in her luscious long locks and bangs era in particular, looks like she could be Deschanel's clone. But according to the latter star, that's where their similarities end. She said people who spotted Perry out partying often incorrectly assumed they'd just seen her, though she's more of a homebody. Still, who could blame them? If you ask us, this sounds like an excellent premise for a sitcom about twins who are polar opposites, starring Perry and Deschanel. Things could even get musical. We would totally watch that.
Don't you wanna fall in love tonight?
Number 3. Mila Kunis and Sarah Hyland.
Even after all that time that you still get mistaken for Mila Kunis? Is that real?
I do. It still happens. I mean, I met her maybe 10 years ago. I was very excited to meet her. I was such a massive fan, and everyone always told me that I looked like her.
Delicate features, high cheekbones, and stunningly good looks are just some reasons we believe these actresses were separated at birth. You know, if you ignore the fact that one was born in what's now called Ukraine in 1983, while the other was born in New York in 1990. And as this tweet shows, they're fully aware of their mirror image likeness. The duo has poked fun at it, with Kunis playing into others' confusion to knock a few years off her age.
And she was like, and sometimes I pretend to be you, so I feel like I'm young.
She also hilariously gave Hyland permission to pretend to be her. Is it too late to cast Hyland as Jackie's teenage daughter in the That 70s Show reboot? We've seen weirder age gaps in Hollywood.
You want to have my children?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you get rich and don't lose your hair, because I love you.
Number 2. Jessica Chastain and Bryce Dallas Howard. Bryce Dallas Howard has brought many people to life on our screens. She's been Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man 3, Victoria in Twilight's Eclipse, and Claire Dearing in the Jurassic World flicks. But there's one person she isn't, and that's Jessica Chastain.
Someone congratulated you on Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Which is great, but you were not in Jurassic World. That is Bryce. That's Bryce Dallas Howard.
That's Bryce, yeah. You know, the biggest movie of the year. Fabulous, but yeah, not me.
Chastain's the one from The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Zero Dark 30, and Molly's Game. But don't worry, we totally get it. If you place them side by side and take a few steps back, it would be impossible to tell them apart.
Only when I'm looking presentable and I have makeup on. When I look like myself, nobody thinks I look like Jessica Chastain.
The fact that they both appeared in The Help didn't, well, help matters either. And we love it when they address the comparisons. There are certainly worse people to be mistaken for than an equally accomplished actress. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Carrie Underwood and Emily Osment. They should start a band called Twinning It. Heath Ledger and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Once you see it, it's impossible to unsee.
Cameron, do you like the girl?
Yeah?
Yeah, and is she worth all this trouble?
Well, I thought she was, but you know,
Well, she is or she isn't.
Mark Wahlberg and Matt Damon. Is that Marky Mark or Matty Matt?
So Mark and I have a deal. If we're mistaken for one another, we have to be as polite as possible. Because
have you ever signed an autograph as Matt Wahlberg?
Oh yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown and Natalie Portman. We'd like to pretend this is proof that time travel exists.
Oh, well, look out!
Don't move.
Whoa, so cool!
Dax Shepard and Zach Braff. Even Kristen Bell took note of the similarities.
While I have you, you used the patio last night to cut through to the guest house. Let's just stick to the agreement, okay? Use the side entrance. Can you do that?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Amy Adams and Isla Fisher. Don't worry, you don't need to get your eyes checked. But countless people, including Lady Gaga, often struggle to figure out who's who when it comes to this red-headed duo with similarly attractive features.
The crowds parted and there was Lady Gaga, and she's heading right towards me. And she says, "Thank you. Your performance in American Hustle, Amy, was..." And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's Lady Gaga. I love her so much. I don't want to tell her the truth.
Also, Fisher once pasted Adams' face on her holiday cards, and none of the recipients even clocked it.
Season's greetings from Sasha Ryler, and no one noticed.
No one
everyone's like, oh, your card was so cute. I'm like, it was a joke. It's not me. It's Amy.
If you need a refresher, Adams is the one from American Hustle, Enchanted, and Sharp Objects. Fisher, on the other hand, is in Wedding Crashers, Now You See Me, and The Great Gatsby. Just maybe don't watch Nocturnal Animals if you want to avoid the confusion that comes with seeing them in the same movie. No wonder we have to do a double take. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.